why Vietnam decide to negotiate VPA with EU? Because the EU is the second important exporter market. So, and also we also found that negotiation with VPA with EU, one time we can promote market to the EU, but other thing that we can have opportunity to improve the governance and forest governance in Vietnam, to set up the timber legality assurance system, and also to increase the competitiveness of our industry. I hope that VPA can bring to us the new thinking about the forest governance.
Both sides want to combat the illegal logging, to address the deforestation, and also more than that is also the forest governance. So that's why I think it is a good initiative for both sides. Forest governance actually is quite a new concept for Vietnam. So it started introduced just in the last 5 years, and we feel that this is really important because it introduced all the key principles of the governance issues. So transparencies, accountabilities, predictabilities, and also very important is participation.
I'd say for the first 5 years, Vietnam effectively refused to even discuss regulating timber imports. They felt it was either too complex or that it was too commercially damaging for their sector. And so really for a long time the VPA went nowhere in Vietnam. The TLASs that were drafted were not fit for purpose. And so it was with some relief that in the last 18 months, 2 years or so, there's been significant progress with Vietnam being willing to ultimately discuss the core issues, which were imported timber.
Millions of households are involved in the timber supply chain, from the forest plantation to transport to processing and to even in the market. However, they are very small and they even don't have a legal entity. And millions of households doing that, and they have no ideas of what is VPA-FLEGT. So far, like I say, that FLEGT initiative is really a participatory process and stakeholder engagement. It is good, however, in order to make that is really stakeholder engagement. It takes time. It have to have resources, like human resources, like financial resources. So it means that it cannot do full enough. So for example, civil society, we have thousands of civil society in everywhere of the countries. But how can we can represent all the peoples from many corners? We have millions of households. We cannot represent them because we have limited resources. One of the very important roles civil society will play is independent monitoring. So we monitor the implementation of the VPA-FLEGT implementation. We monitor the impact of the implementation to the households and to the communities and to the small and medium enterprise. That is really important, and millions of households and micro small enterprise are living with really not good representation at the central level.
Corruption is an enormous issue in Vietnam. The recent illegal trade flow that we exposed from Cambodia into Vietnam has systematic corruption built into every cubic meter involves about $45 of corrupt payments to government officials in Vietnam. And those officials work for the very agencies that will enforce the TLAS under the VPA. So there needs to be a significant anti-corruption drive within those agencies for stakeholders to really be confident that implementation will be good enough.
from point of view of the governments, of course, we can see that this is more work for us to do verification and to set up system, and also to provide the guideline to the industry, to the household, to local community, and also to the CSO. Of course, more work for us. But I think all of this will bring to the better forest governance in Vietnam, and we can promote sustainable forest management in our country. And we think that it also have the reasons, not only in Vietnam, because Vietnam is the imported country, timber imported countries. We also have the reasons to improve, to attack to the illegal logging in the regions.
Transparency is core. I think without governments, if governments are not willing to make data available for monitoring by either government agencies or civil society, then they effectively fail to take an opportunity that exists in independent forest monitoring.
If the countries start negotiation VPA with EU, I advise them that they need to prepare very comprehensive baseline study on the timber flow, on the legality definition framework of the country. They need to study more comprehensive about this one, because timber not only deal with the forestry sector, we also need to deal with the land use, about the environmental sector, about labor sector, or trade, something like this. It's beyond the forestry sector. And the last but not least, don't forget about the stakeholder engagement during the negotiation. So you need to do like the analysis of the stakeholder participation, stakeholder engagement in the country, because different countries have different stakeholder groups, different interests from different stakeholder groups. So they need to analyze it before engage them to the VPA process.